All right, once again, we're all welcome to today's class. I think it's high time we start. So we've given enough time for everyone to join. We understand that today is Saturday, so a number of people might be joining many things at the same time. This class is currently streaming on YouTube, so in case you have any challenge joining us here, please, you can use the YouTube. In case you have any challenge here, you can use the YouTube. So we started this class on Thursday, and it has been an amazing time out. It has been an amazing time. Although we've not been able to cover all we are meant to cover for this level 1. So we'll try as much as we can to see the much we can do. And then by next week, we'll continue with the level 2. And if there is a spillover, we'll continue according to the spillover. However, I may wish to remind us once again, this course is actually a 20 days class, which is 10 days per level, 10 days for associate and 10 days for the lead level. However, we are trying to see how to manage time, to compress time and do it in the shortest possible time. So instead of 20 days, we are trying to crash the project in 6 days. However, where we are unable to meet up with the crash target, we may have to extend the class either by 2 or 3 days, just to ensure that we'll have complete lecture and complete understanding of all of what we're dealing with. I will also want to recommend to everyone the study manuals and every other thing. Please try as much as you can to get them. It's not just for personal purposes. You may have need of them someday, either in your own organization to train your staff, or maybe whichever one. I think this week, around Monday, Monday to be precise, this call came in from one of our fellows who happens to be a staff at Central Bank. And then the call came in, they were expecting a facilitator in their particular program. And unfortunately, the facilitator did not show up. And they needed a material on that particular subject. They needed a well-developed material that any of their own in-house facilitators could use. Now, the only reason why he got access to that, or he was able to get to us, and then we sent him that material, was because he is a fellow, and by being a fellow, he's entitled to resource materials. So something that could have taken him months to develop, he got it on a platter of gold. And also, for the fact that he has been trained by the Institute, it was easy for him to use the materials and deliver the lectures. It was a 5-day lecture, so we gave him a 5-day material that he could use. So the materials here, it's not just for us to view. No, they are well-structured materials that can be used both nationally and internationally. They are all well-vetted documents, serving on vetted on international standards, serving for both national and international purposes. So the relevance of the information contained here is for all. Then secondly, I made mention of something yesterday, just adding some voice to that of the program coordinator. Someone was chatting me this morning. He said he's a staff of UNICEF, or is he staff, or well, he works with UNICEF. So I don't know whether he's a permanent staff or contract staff. I don't know. So he said he took our course, HR course, in February or so, and now he's asking. He wants to get the certificate. How does he go about it? And I was giving him the cost of the program as it were today. And he's asking if there was anything that could be done. Now, it's not only that he has to just pay. He will pay, he will write the exam. And if he does not get the exam, he will come back and repeat the exam till he gets it. And he needs the certification now and is urgent. Now, the certifications we are giving you here, yes, we might have made it look like is accessible to anyone. All certifications we are giving here, they are all internationally valid certification. Whichever country you want to go to, they are all valid. The validity of all our certifications lie on both our national and international accreditations. In the Nigerian context, we are accredited by the highest body of management development in Nigeria, the standard regulatory body for accreditation of certifications and programs as this. We have the Nigerian Council for Management Development, aka Center for Management Development. So we have that. Now, internationally, we are accredited by the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants. And that gives you the leverage by the time you complete the lead level, the senior level, and you want to become a chartered business developer, it is open to you. Now you're getting all these things without stress. The stress of writing exam, the stress of writing projects and all of that. Yesterday I said something. We had this, the first diet, and we had this, the second diet. By next diet, anybody who's interested in business development will be required to write exam, will be required to write project. Not only writing your project, you'll be required to defend your project as well. Okay, so if you want to join us in another diet, just know that these are some of the requirements you will be expected to meet. And of course, before you join us in our next diet, you must have paid your money. Once in a while, we open our trainings for free access. And why we do so is as part of our corporate social responsibility is always pressing towards to help organizations and individuals build capacity. We understand that in the current economy we are, not everybody and not every organization has the resources to train their staff. Someone was telling me yesterday that his MD observed that he was taking a course on business development. and the MD asked him to go and develop, that they are starting up a business development unit, and he's going to be the head of that business development unit. That he should go and develop a business development plan for the business development unit of the company. So he was telling me that yesterday in a chat after the class. And he was like, sir, where should I start from? I said, well, start from the ones you've been taught. Like I said earlier, and I will keep saying it, business development has become a crucial need in organizations. Why some people are still busy hiring business managers, some others are replacing business managers with business developers. Because the truth is, in practical context, a business developer is far ahead of a business manager. Okay, most businesses are still struggling because they are still in that phase of business manager. And business managers most often don't really, in traditional context, they don't do the work of a business developer. In most organizations, business manager is given as a reward, is given as a title, is given as how will I put it now? As a function of age, or maybe as a function of the number of certificates you have. No, but a business developer is not so. A business developer is given based on targets, based on performance requirements, based on expansion goals, growth goals, and all of that. So most businesses are beginning to replace business managers with business developers. Okay, they are beginning to replace business managers with business developers. So whether you understood what you fully came for or whether you did not, is good that once in a while we take the time to help you understand the global importance and the organizational benefits that this will bring to you. Someone in the chat room, in the WhatsApp chat room, also asked the question. He said, does business development apply to non-profit making organizations, or is it only for profit making organizations? And that question was quite a good question. The question is, does non-profit organizations have expansion goals? If the answer is yes, then does non-profit organizations handle projects? Does non-profit organizations do promotions and marketing? If the activities, all these activities mentioned and more are contained in non-profit organizations, then business development is an essential. And please note, whether it is profit or non-profit, business development is essential. It is the role of business developer in the non-profit sector to find out the initiatives that the NGO can drive to create the most impact. So whether you are profit-driven or you're non-profit-driven, a business developer is essential. Okay, a business developer is essential. I also want to use this medium to inform us. By November or January, we are just looking at the schedule. By November or January, we'll be commencing our MBA program in partnership with the University of Abuja. Now, for those of us who are already taking this course, you might be saving a whole lot of cost. That's if you want to obtain an MBA in business management. You might be saving a whole lot of costs then, because you will be considered for certain discounts, having taken a business development course. The MBA program is a one-year program that we are running in collaboration with the University of Abuja. So our own is to provide the professional training, provide the facilitations and all of that. The role of Uni Abuja is to provide the evaluation, conduct the project research work, and then issue certificates. Okay, so the certificate, while we issue you the professional certificate, the MBA certification will be issued from or by the University of Abuja. And then for those of us who want to go for the chartered will be issued by the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, USA. So by running this program all through, you would have had extensive benefits. And I mean quite extensive benefits. Okay, quite extensive benefits. So before I proceed, my recommendation is try as much as you can to get your certifications, try as much as you can to get all the materials. And if there are any other thing you want, you can always reach out to us. And maybe if you fall in that category of that young man that said the the organization is now requesting that he set up a business development unit with strategic plans to match. Okay, if you fall in that category, you can also reach out to us. Now, if you to benefit from our 30 days free consulting program, you must have paid for your certifications and all of that. Okay, so that will be a part of the requirement. So if you're setting up a business development unit and you want us to come in, or you want us to look at your business proposals and advice, or want us to do organizational analysis, business analysis on your, you would have somehow have some commitment with us that will make us also want to commit with you. Okay. And there is also some information that people perceive. Sometimes when we say IPM members, so amount, then non-IPM members, so amount. Some people will say they are IPM members. Please, that you registered for a course, a free program, and then you attended does not make you an IPM member. To be an IPM member, you must have attended the program, done your induction, membership induction. Induction is different from certification. Induction is to bring you to be a member of the institute, where you can have the opportunity to assess all the benefits accruing to members and also have access to ensure professional benefits in your own career. Okay, that's for membership. Certification is a proof that you've gone through the training and you now have the required competencies, the skills, the expertise, the knowledge to deliver on the subject for which you are certified. So membership is different from professional certification. And professionally, you will be considered incomplete if you have a professional certificate without a membership certificate. You will be considered incomplete. For instance, you're a member of Nigerian Bars Association and you are not a lawyer. The question is how? How did you become a member? Okay, how did you become a member of the Nigerian Bars Association when you're not a lawyer? It will be considered an illegal identification. Now, if you are a lawyer and you're not a member of the Nigerian Bars Association, you won't go to practice. You won't be given your license to practice. So these are some of the things we need to understand. Professionally, the way it works is a little different from the way it works educationally. Okay, so if you are a professional, you're expected to identify with a professional body that provides you access to continuous learning and development experience. So when you are done with your training, you are encouraged to prepare for your induction. That's for those who have not done their induction. You'll prepare for your induction. So for this year, our second induction will be coming up in November, December, November 28th to December 2nd. Should there be anything changing, we'll let you know. So it's a 5 days program, and it will be done in Abuja. The invitation letters and everything will soon be passed to our emails. And then if you require permission from the organization to be able to attend, you're welcome. All right, so before I proceed, let me know if there is any question, any concern, so that I will take care of them before I proceed. Any question, any concern, you can unmute and let me hear from you. If you have a question, if you have a concern, or you raise your hand, then we'll unmute you so as to hear what you have to say. Okay. Please, if you can still hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 99 in the chat room. If you can still hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 99 in the chat room. If you can still hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 99 in the chat room. Okay, so if you're hearing me and then no question, it simply means I should proceed. Okay, so we started this course with a general overview of consulting, where we looked at what consulting was. We looked at consulting today, contemporary consulting. We looked at consulting skills. We looked at how to discover consulting needs. We looked at how to find your own area in consulting. We also looked at relationship building for consultants. Then we came to business development. We looked at the foundation for business development, or business development foundation. And then we looked at the skills domain for business developers. We looked at the roles and responsibilities of business developers. We also, yesterday, we looked at feasibility study, opportunity development. And today, we'll be looking at business planning. Business planning. Business planning. In business planning, in the section of today, by the end of this section, all of us will be able to explain the concept of business planning. We'll be able to discuss the purpose and benefits of business planning. We'll be able to review a component of a business plan and then examine business development considerations. These are the things we'll be looking at. Now, in business planning, there is always this conception that business planning is something difficult. Business planning is a tedious work. Business planning is only for a set of people. Business planning is only when you want to start a business. Okay, so by the time we are done, we'll find out the true picture of what business planning is all about. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikenna, for noticing that my slide was not moving. So I said by the end of this session, participants will be able to explain the concept of business planning, discuss the purpose and benefits of business planning, review the components of a business plan. In reviewing the components of a business plan, we'll also look at the types of a business plan, and then examine business plan development considerations, the things we should consider in developing business plan. So let's look at it. By introduction, a business plan is a fundamental document that any business should have in place prior to beginning operations. Any business should have in place prior to beginning operations. So a business plan is needed in the startup phase of your business. That's one point I would like you to know, but that's not the absolute truth about business plan. That's just one part of the truth. Indeed, banks and venture capital firms often require a viable business plan before considering whether they will provide capital to new businesses. Operating without a business plan is usually not a good idea. One of the reasons why businesses or most businesses struggle is because they don't have a business plan, which simply means they don't have a picture of where they are going. They don't have a roadmap to follow. Since they don't even know where they are going, it will be difficult to know the roadmap to follow. The absence of a business plan simply indicates the absence of a vision, the absence of a roadmap, the absence of standards to be followed in conducting business. I normally ask this question: what's the difference between ShopRite and the shop that is in front of your house or the shop by your street? The only difference between the two is the level of the business plans they have. Your business plan captures the depth of your thoughts, the depth of your aspirations towards your business, the depth of the vision you have towards the business. If your business is me, myself, and I, it will be captured in your business plan. If your business is joint venture, it will be captured. If it is limited, it will be captured. If it is a global-based business, the approaches that you'll be stating out in your business plan also will exemplify where you're going to. So running a business without a business plan is dangerous. Now, some of us have what we call business profiles. Business profiles, and we suppose that that's a business plan. Well, a business profile is more of a description of what your business, what your organization is all about and what you do. But in most cases, it does not give you the in-depth aspect of your business, okay? So we'll look at also the kind of business plan that is covered in business profile and all of that. Now, in fact, very few companies are able to last very long without a business plan. So when there is no business plan, it will be difficult to have sustainability. It will be difficult to have continuity, okay? When you have a business plan, another thing is that some of us do business plans religiously. We take the pain of doing business plans religiously, but we don't practice it. A business plan you did 5 years ago is still as fresh as nothing has been added, nothing has been removed. It doesn't even show any characteristics that business plan has been brought out since the day you wrote it. Okay, it has not even shown that business plan has been opened for once. A business plan is a working document, and by working document, it means that it needs to be constantly reviewed. As you're working, it shows you is the one you're using as your blueprint to know what you're doing. So it shows you what you're supposed to be doing per time. So if you're really using your business plan, it should be about reviewing and reworking it just to suit the situations at the moment. So there are benefits to creating and sticking to a good business plan. These benefits will include being able to think through ideas before investing too much money in them and working through potential obstacles to success. Now, why are we taking the pain to teach business plan as a business developer? More often than not, when business plans are developed, they will be brought to the business developer to criticize, to review, and then advise. Remember, the role of a business developer is more of consulting, more of strategic, more of advisory. So even if you're not the one developing the business, or even if you're not the one developing the business plan, rather, the role of developing the business still comes to you. So you need to have a business planner is like an architect. A business developer is like a civil engineer or a builder. I'll repeat this again. A business planner is like an architect. So he develops and designs a concept of a business on paper, giving you all the projections that comes with it. But it is not the role of the business developer to now look at it in this thing this planner said, will it work, will it not work? Okay, and then see how to work with the business planner to make sure that that concept in the mind of the business planner comes to fruition. So it's not necessarily that your aspect is about planning a business. No, your aspect is much more on critiquing a business plan and then providing the right advisory on the business plan. I hope you got that. Does that mean that if you have the opportunity to develop a business plan, or if your organization asks you to now develop a business plan, you tell them that it's not your role? No, that's not what we're saying. Okay. A civil engineer, irrespective of the fact that it is not in his responsibility, primary responsibility to develop building plans. However, when it still becomes necessary that he does so, he still develop building plans, right? Okay. So these are some of the things we need to know. In this particular set, in this particular level, we are dealing more with with all of the information you need to know about business planning. By the time we get to the advanced level, we'll be working out business plans ourselves. So part of the major things we'll be dealing with is the practical on the development of business plan. I'll be looking at different templates on the different types of business plan that exist, so that it is not just about startup. There are also business plans required for expansion, business plans required for big product launch, business plans required for customer campaigns or marketing. So business plans keep in different forms and formats, okay? A good business plan should outline all the projected costs and the possible pitfalls of each decision a company makes. Business plans, even among competitors in the same industry, are rarely identical. However, they have the same basic elements, such as executive summary of the business and detailed descriptions of its operations, products and services, and financial projections. A plan also states how the business intends to achieve its goals. So irrespective of the fact that we have quite a number of competitors in the industry, we'll find out that each of their business plans are unique, and that's what makes for their competitiveness, okay, their uniqueness within the industry. So if you are doing copy and paste business plan, you might be late on arrival, okay, because the person you copied this business plan obviously might have been doing some work in the industry before you come. So copying and pasting is not a good thought. However, copying and modifying is a welcome address. Copying and modifying, you copied someone's idea and then you modified it to provide better service or better solution is welcome. But copying and just replicating the copy as it is, you might be late on arrival. Okay. A business plan is a document created by a company that describes the company's goals, operations, industry standings, marketing objectives, and financial projections. In some other contexts, they will tell you that a business plan is the roadmap, a company's roadmap to achieving their business goals and objectives. So the roadmap will cover all the strategies in terms of marketing, sales, human resources, operations, compliance, auditing, ownership of the business, and all of that. The roadmap will be all encompassing about all the do's and the don'ts of the organization, right? And as we go forward, I would like you to note a business plan can be very, very simple and easy to attend to if you understand primarily what you want to achieve. So business plan is basically what do you want to achieve, why do you want to achieve it, who do you want to achieve it for, and when do you want to achieve it. So if you can answer primarily those questions, what, why, when, where, and who, you would have ended up writing a good business plan. Okay. So a business plan is a document that defines in detail a company's objective and how it plans to achieve its goals. Okay, please, I would like to confirm if my screen is displaying in your end. Please kindly confirm. If it is showing, please kindly type 22. If it is not showing, please kindly type 00. If the screen is showing, explaining a business plan, if it is showing, write 22. If it is not showing, please write 00. If the screen is showing, please type 22. If it is not showing, please type 00. Okay, thank you so much. I needed to be sure. Okay. A business plan lays out a written roadmap for the firm from marketing, financial, and operational standpoint. Both startups and established companies use business plans. So it doesn't matter whether you are a startup or established. Everybody in the business sector need to have a business plan. Everybody in the business sector need to have a business plan. A business plan is an important document aimed at companies' external and internal audiences. Like I said, if you can identify why you're starting a business, what you're starting as a business, who you're starting the business for, when to start and where to start, you would have ended up developing a good business plan, okay? And how you're going to run the business. If you can answer these questions, why, what, when, where, who, and how, if you can answer these questions effectively when it comes to your business, you would have done well in starting up or initiating a business plan process. For instance, a business plan is used to attract investment before a company has established a proven track record. But for those of us who secure investment, you need a thorough business plan, thorough business plan to be able to do that. It can also help to secure lending from financial institutions. Furthermore, a business plan can serve to keep a company's executive team on the same page about strategic action items and on target for meeting established goals. Although they are especially useful for new businesses, every company should have a business plan. Ideally, the plan is reviewed and updated periodically to reflect goals that have been met or have changed. Please, this is a recommendation I'm giving to you. Whether you have a business plan now or not, please always note, when you develop your business plan, note that part of the plan is operational. Part of the content of your business plan is operational and therefore needs to be updated, if not monthly, if not quarterly, it needs to be updated yearly. So if you have a business plan that you're not updating, it simply means you don't have a working business plan. If you have a business plan that you're not updating, it simply means you don't have a working business plan. A business plan needs to be updated annually, because by updating it annually, you're setting new targets every year, setting new targets. And the new targets you're setting will create room for expansion. We create room for effectiveness, improving on effectiveness, improving on efficiency, improving where need to be improved. So it is important, very, very important, that we pay attention on updating our business plans annually. Okay. Moving forward, the purpose of business planning. The purpose of business plan is to help articulate a strategy for starting or changing your business. For starting or changing. And by changing, we mean it's either you want to introduce a new product, you want to expand, you want to change the business completely, you want to go into partnerships. So these are some of the purposes for which a business plan is established. Help you articulate your strategy for starting a new business, or for expanding the existing one, or changing the one already existing. It defines how you achieve your most important business objectives. For existing businesses, a business plan should be updated annually as a way to guide growth and navigate expansion into new markets. I just said that in the last slide. Your plan should include explicit objectives for hiring new employees, what structure you will have, what product and services your business will provide, how you will promote them, and how you will finance business operations. If you are considering starting a business plan can help you to check the viability of a business before investing too much time or money in it. It also provides insight on it also provides insight on steps to be taken, resources required for achieving your business goals, and a timeline of anticipated results. benefits of business plan. Number one, it increases your clarity towards your business. If you have a business plan, it gives you thorough clarity on what your business is all about. It also helps in creation of a marketing roadmap, support you in raising funds, helps you to secure the right talent for your business, provides information that will help you design your organizational structure, and also supports in building strategic partnerships and alliances. Now, what are the components of a business plan? What should be contained in a business plan? Number one, you have what we call the executive summary. The executive summary in 1 to 4 pages, dependent on how well you can write, but most often we recommend that you just do 1 page. Executive summary can also be considered as a concept note, okay? And is in most cases independent of the business plan itself. So it introduces and summarizes what the business and the business plan is all about. It introduces the idea and summarizes what the business plan is all about. So most often when people ask you to give you their business plans, the first thing you want to give them is your concept note or your executive summary. Let them go through it. And then after they are done, if they are convinced of the business plan, or if they are convinced of the business idea, they can then ask you, bring your business plan. Please note, an executive summary is not a proposal. An executive summary is not a proposal. An executive summary is a summary of the total business idea and the way it's supposed to work. Okay, so in most cases, writing too much, the person you're writing to may not have all the time to read it. So my recommendation is 1 page, maximum 1.5 pages or 2. Okay, but before you start writing 2 pages, just make sure that what you're writing is worth reading, because repetition and using or providing information that may not be necessarily needed in the executive summary can deter the person reading and can also bring confusion to the person reading. Executive summary is hintful. It provides the hint on the business. It's not in totality. It does not provide absolute details of the business plan. Did you get that? If you got what I just said now, please type 55 in the chat room. If you understood the executive summary, please type 55 in the chat room. Please type 55 in the chat room if you understood what the executive summary is all about. Please type 5 in the chat room. Okay. Now, in most cases, it's easier for you to develop an executive summary after you might have developed the business plan. It is easier for you to develop an executive summary after you might have good understanding of what the plan is all about. You understand the components of the business plan and all of that. Then you will be able to develop a good executive summary. Okay, my advice is before you start developing executive summary, please develop your business plan first. Okay, develop your business plan first. And if you want criticism on your business plan, you know, one of the challenges people have, especially startup companies, one of the challenges they have is security of their idea. And most often when you carry your business plan and give to someone, by the time you know it, the business plan will be lost, the idea will be lost. The person or group of persons that have the capacity to implement it, start implementing it without your consent. So to avoid such, it is always good you use an executive summary. Should you want criticism, should you want to talk about your business with someone, please first submit an executive summary. Let the experts that want to, the person you want to summarize, to help you view it, let him look at the components and then ask you the question of, how do you want to do this? This one, you wrote that your business plan we produce 50 million naira in 6 months. Okay, so I think the business can actually do it, but how do you intend to do it? Remember, in your executive summary, you have the summary of your marketing strategy also. So the person looks at the summary of your marketing strategy, the summary, not the detail. The summary, not the detail. The person looks at the summary and says, okay, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have that. Okay, so what is this one all about? You can provide a summary of all of the questions he will ask you, and then he or she can then also advise. Okay, but for investors, what you want is to write an executive summary that will capture their attention. And the executive summary should contain, please note, executive summary should contain all of the components of a business plan. Yeah, it's just the summary of your business plan. So why, what, who, where, when, and how. It should answer all of that. Now, more importantly, your business plan should accommodate the viability, the proof of viability. The proof of viability. Yesterday, we talked about feasibility, and we say one of the reasons of conducting feasibility study is to ensure business viability, right? So the proof of viability. So if you have done a research, your feasibility report shows so, provide that recap in your executive summary. According to the feasibility, this market is a market of 5 million people. And out of the 5 million, we will be taking 0.5% of this 5 million in the next 3 years. Afterwards, we will work towards taking maybe 5% in the next 5 years at the stated strategies. You write them down. That's your feasibility report, right? That you're showing that the business is feasible, the business is scalable. Now, another important thing you want to show is continuity and sustainability. How do you consider the environment? How do you consider societal and social integration to the business? What are the prospective impacts of the business? You also want to talk about them. So talk about the percentage of job creation or the contribution of the business idea to job creation. Talk about the percentage or the contribution towards shareholder value. Talk about the percentage to national development. Talk in terms of what volume you think we serve in taxation, or always mention that, yes, your company will contribute in national growth towards taxation. If you have corporate social responsibilities you want to mention, you also mention them. That, yes, you also engage in corporate social responsibilities to support national growth, okay, and development. These are some of the captions or some of the interests that most investors want to look at, especially most angel investors. Their problem is not money. Their problem is how to use their money to achieve philanthropic objectives. So how can your business help them to sustainably achieve their philanthropic aims? You may need to consider these things extensively and inclusively, all right? And then capture them in your executive summary. Now, from your executive summary, you can then talk about your business overview. In the business overview, we want to know what is the problem, what is the proposed solution. Sorry, my network went off a bit, but it's back. Okay, I trust you can still hear me. The weather here is turning. It seems like there will be a very great downpour shortly. So let's see how we can summarize before it starts raining. Okay, so I said in the business overview, I trust you can still hear me. Please, if you can hear me, kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the business overview, I have to tell you, what's the problem? What's the proposed solution? In talking about what the problem is, we want to know the need, the people that has this need. What volume of people, what number of people have this need? We also want to know from the problem, is it going to be a growing need or is it just going to be a one-off need? We have to state that in the background of the problem. Okay, and then in describing the solutions, we now talk about what the solution is going to look like, what the benefit is going to look like, what is unique about the solution that will make these people, this market, consider what you're offering to them as a solution. These are some of the things you present in your business overview. And then in your business overview also, you talk about your unique selling propositions, like your differentiating factor from other competitors. Okay, talk about what the current market is, and then talk about what you're bringing in as a differentiating factor that will make people want to come to you. The next one is your operations plan. Your operations plan simply talks about your day-to-day running of the business. What are going to be the operations in the business? The activities that you're going to be running in the business. You need to state them categorically. Possibly, my recommendation most often is talk about the operation and talk about the impact of the operation, the contribution of that operation to the business itself. So for instance, you say operation number one is maybe production. Okay, in the production, what will be the outcome of this production? The production will be responsible for producing of the product. Okay, and the impact is so. Now, the next operation could be marketing. So what's the outcome, what's the impact? The next one could be customer service. The next one could be sales. The next one could be administrative operations. We write it down. Then you write all the operations. By operations, we also may consider it in terms of what are all the units you want to create in the organization. Okay, what are all the units you want to create in the organization? And what will be their responsibilities? What will be their daily assignment? Okay, what will be their daily assignment? That is encompassing in the operations. The next one is your market analysis. Your market analysis is going to be a very simple thing. We've been talking so much about data analysis, data representation and visualization and interpretation, all of that. Okay, so in the market, the role or your assignment in market analysis is to find out exactly what share of the market that you can take for the business you're developing. What share of the market? What share of the market? Now, when you get to the market, you have what we call the general population in the market. The general population in the market is not your target audience at the moment. Now, you have in the market, you have those with capacity to buy, but not interested in your market or your product. Those ones are not the ones you're also looking for. Then you have those that are interested to buy, but they don't have capacity. Those ones too, they are part of your market, but not the immediate. Then you have those that have the capacity and the interest. So you see, in market analysis, you would have streamlined from general market view to the specific number or the specific share that you want to have in the market. Do you understand that? So market analysis is speculative. It is forecastable. Okay, it is forecastable. All right, it is forecastable. So in essence, when you're starting a business, you cannot say everybody that buys Gary or everybody that eats Gary will buy from you. No, assuming it's Gary you want to produce. Everybody that buys Gary, everybody that eats Gary, at the beginning will not buy from you. So you have a general market. Then you have those who are interested in, or who have the capacity to buy Gary, but they don't want to buy your Gary. That's also part of the market, but at that moment, they are not your customers. Then you have those who like your Gary, but they don't have the capacity to buy your Gary. They don't have the financial wherewithal to buy your Gary. Those ones too are part of your market, but they are not, they cannot give you the resources you need to continue your business. Then you have those who have the capacity to buy and they like your Gary. They are the ones you are targeting. So the question that market analysis want to answer is, how many people will buy from you? In most cases, we tell you to prepare a market forecasting sheet. If you're preparing a market forecasting sheet, please bear with me. I may have to close this and use the whiteboard in a moment. So please bear with me. Let me use the whiteboard in a moment. Where is my whiteboard? Trying to get my whiteboard. Okay, so I trust you can see my whiteboard. Now, if you want to do market analysis, let me state this again. You have those, you have the general market, general population of people in the market, in your target market. Not all of these people will buy from you. Then you have those that have capacity to buy, but not interested in your product. So these ones can give you the money you need to continue your business. Then you have those who have interest, but no capacity. These ones too will not give you what you want. Then you have those who have capacity and interest. So this is what we call active demand. Active demand. This is general demand, or total demand, general industry demand. This is passive demand. This is, where is the other one? This one is non-active demand. Now, I wish I could make charts out of this. So you have 1, 2, 3. Now, when you go to now do your market analysis, right? Let's say total market population. Total market population for your product. Let's say your product is Gary. Total market population for Gary is 90 million. Okay, assumedly. Remember, before you quote, you must have your source of information to quote. Okay, if you have access to data that could prove this, why not? Then you have those that have capacity. So let's say capacity, but not interested. Let's say they are how many now? 80 million. 80 million. Now, in these people that have capacity but not interested, some of them becomes your untapped market, or what we call the hidden market. Some of these people, you don't know them, untapped or hidden market. Then you have another one where you now talk about those that have capacity, or they are interested but no capacity. Interested but no capacity. These are your prospective clients, prospective clients. So maybe these ones will be like 5 million, or let's say they are 7 million people, 7 million. This market, you've already discovered it, but this market doesn't have capacity. So your role here is to help this market to become your client. Your role is to help these clients in this number 3 to become your clients. So some of the help you might do might be part of those social responsibility role, strategically structured corporate social responsibility role that will turn these people to becoming your client in the long run. Then let's say at the end of the day, those that are interested and have capacity, maybe 200,000 people. 200,000 people. This 200,000 becomes your actual market that you are going to be starting with. Although this number is too much anyway, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, let's assume you started with 90 million total market population, then you came down to those that have capacity but not interested. 80 million, those that are interested but does not have capacity, who you are going to be helping. Maybe 7 million. Then those that now have capacity and they are interested, just a little fraction of them. In market analysis, all you want to do is to find that small proportion, that small number of people that can help you break even. Okay, that can help you break even and then to remain in the market. Those are the people you want to you want to start up with. But look at this. A market analysis will not tell you to do what we call the marketing forecast. The marketing forecast, right? Marketing forecast. So marketing forecast could be for 1 year, could be for 2 years, 3 years. For most often it's recommended 3 years. 3 years, right? So you have your marketing forecast for, let's say you're starting 2023. So you have January to December 2023. You have the role, based on the strategies you're working out, you have the role to sit down and find out what will be your, out of the 200 persons, what will be your market for January? What will be your market for February, for March, for April, for May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then you have what we call the average market size for that year. Then you go to 2024, you do the same thing from January to December. By the time you finish from January to December 2023, you must have gathered some experience about your market, what your market is all about, the characteristics of your customers. Are there changes in the behavior of customers? Are there changes in the market? You must have gathered those experiences and then use them to develop better strategies that will help you in 2024. So of course, all things being equal, your 2024 should be better than your 2023, all right? Then you go to 2025 and do the same thing. Okay, you go to 2025 and do the same thing. Now, by having all these forecasts, you will find out that you will be growing gradually from 200,000. These people that you helped, that's if you started helping them. Some of them will start becoming your customers. Now, in the process, these people that said they were not interested before, you would have found out some of the features about your product that made them not interested. And you must have started remodifying it. So as you're moving, most of these people that have capacity but not interested, they start becoming your customers. And then by the time you know it, you will start gaining weight in the total market population. Do you understand the gist of our conversation? Do you understand how the market analysis goes? So market analysis is not where you come to write too many stories. Okay, just provide your facts and figures. Okay, let's know what we stand to deal with. Okay, so if you understand this or market analysis, please type 66 in the chat room. If you don't, let me have your question so that we can deal with it. If you understand this, the market analysis, how you should go, type 55. If you don't understand it, please kindly type 00 and then let me have your question. Then let's deal with it. No, before you ask me, can I take it again? Ask me specifically the area you don't understand. Specifically, which area you don't understand, let me know, because taking it again is, I have a lecturer, one of my lecturers those days. So he was teaching us biotech. And all of those things he was saying in class that day were just sounding like what we cannot even comprehend. Palindrome. Even till now, if you ask me what a palindrome is, I won't be able to answer. So in the midst of it all that we are not even understanding it, the lecturer now asked us any question. One of my classmates then asked the lecturer, says, "Prof, please, can you throw more light?" Okay. And the prof looked around and said, "Okay, Uche, please open the window. Joy, open the door. Okay, you could turn on the lights there." And he asked the young lady, he said, "Now, have you seen more light?" Okay. Okay, so it's good we please revisit the marketing. The cost of coming back is expensive. So ask me specifically, except you're giving me transport, then I will know that I have my to and fro transport to come and go. I would love to have specific questions. All right. I would like to have specific questions. Now, a market analysis, I said, what we want to find out is what percentage of the market share. If I use term that is seeming not too understandable, please, you can type it so that I will explain it. A percentage of the market share is simply what number of customers do you think your business can gather over a period of time? Or which number of customers do you think you can start with? Okay, that will keep your business flowing pending when you break even. So that small population you're going to be gathering will help you break even and help your business flow for a while before you start acquiring more customers, and then you start talking about much more profit. All right. Okay, so I said in the general market, okay, you can have 4 categories of people there. You have the general market population. So sometimes you hear things like this industry is what, like when we started in this course, we said as of 2020, the worth of consulting industry in Africa was at $3.01 billion. That is the general market population, the general market worth, right? But if you were to be a consultant, you want the 3.01 billion did not just enter your hand. It entered the hand of everyone in the market. Now, inside that 3.01 billion, that is the total market worth. The question is, what is the percentage you want to take? What is your service and product will be providing? What is the worth it will take, right? Now, when you come to that market and you want to analyze, you have 3.01 billion general market value. Then inside that market, you have those that they have capacity. You've introduced your product now. Yes, they've even seen your product. They have capacity to pay, but they feel that like they are not interested in your product. Maybe something is missing. Maybe you have not built reputation. Maybe the feature, some of the features they want are not yet in your product. Maybe they think you're just a startup, you won't be able to deliver. So some of them, we have they will have that restriction not to buy from you. So you need to find out which percentage of these people exist in the market. And you know, as a startup, a large population of them will not want to buy from you. And that's why we say, okay, let's assume we have total market population 90 million. And then those that have they are interested, sorry, they have capacity but not interested at the moment, maybe 80 million of them. And then you have those who have, and we say this 80 million, since they have capacity, their interest is not yet there due to some of bias that they might be having. So we say, okay, one day, they will turn to be our customers. Kindly explain how this affects share of shop. Please, what do you really mean by share of shop? What? I need to understand what you mean by share of shop. Okay. Then you have those who are interested but doesn't have capacity. These ones, they really love your product, but they don't have the financial wherewithal to buy your product. So you need to rethink your product over and over to help these people become your customers. Okay, and then you have those who are interested and they have capacity. Those are the ones you're really focusing on. I'm going to talk about that number 3, those who are interested but do not have capacity. You see, that population, if you can get them, you would have created another market completely. Because most often, most businesses neglect those people that they don't have capacity, but they have interest. They will be like, well, is it interest that we want to eat? We are looking for profit, and you're talking about you're interested in a product. So it is important that we find ways. Remember, we talked about being compassionate as a business developer. So you have seen a hungry market, but the problem is that your cost of production is outweighing what they can afford. So can you work around that product to serve them better and then make them your customers? The answer is yes, so you can do that. Now, by now forecasting your market, okay, there is market share, there are other stores selling same thing as you. Share in shop is the percentage of shops selling similar items. Okay. Okay. So this one is SME language. Okay, so thank you. I will come to that. So in doing forecasting, in doing your business planning and then doing marketing forecast, it's good you know, or you develop a forecast over a period of time, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years. Advisingly, you have three averagely. So if you can forecast your business up to 3 years with respect to number of people that you're going to be serving, then it would have helped you in developing extensive strategies that you can use in making those speculations work. And then if those speculations do not work, then it will also help you to rework your plan so as to get what is workable. That an analysis has been developed, that you had a forecast, does not mean that it must go exactly that way. Or it might be above it, it might be below it, it might be as planned. But the most important thing is that the forecast gives us assignment to work with. All right. So market analysis, in essence, gives us a percentage of the share of the market. Now, someone is asking me, what's it called? Share in shop. It says the percentage of shops selling similar items as you. So now, this share in shop, as you're talking about, this will now be part of the things we discuss in the general market, looking at it from the competitive angle, competitive analysis. So when we come to competitive analysis, we'll look at this. However, if I understand what you're asking, what you're simply asking is, what percentage, if you're dealing with shop now, what percentage of share will you be able to accommodate as compared to other shops selling similar things? That will be dependent on the innovation, the uniqueness, the added feature, the added benefits you are now bringing into the market. It will all be dependent on your strategies, dependent on how dynamic you are. Okay. Now, do I have any question? the people that gave me transport to revisit marketing analysis. Hope I did not waste your money. Okay, is it like, what is the formula for knowing the general market population and further knowing the various levels of demand? Okay, so you're asking me level 2 question now. However, Mr. Maxwell, please listen to me and listen to me. Your question on how do you know general market population? You say, what is the formula? Well, we deal with data. So I don't normally deal more with formula or what have you. We deal with data. We deal with data. Now, every industry has a population. If you're in Nigeria and you request for a population of customers consuming, number of consumers in the telecom industry, you will get it from Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. If you go to NCC, they will give it to you. You go to NITDA, they will give it to you. So it's for you to know the necessary places where you will find the data you need. Okay, to find the data you need. We have some websites those extensive information. We have some websites that can provide you with such extensive information. If you want information on the number of people consuming Gary today, you'll be so shocked when you go to Bureau of Statistics or go to Ministry of Agriculture, the production area, or go to Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. You will get those facts and figures. Now, your other question on what's the question? And knowing the various levels of demand. How do you know the various levels of demand? Your feasibility should be able to tell you. Okay, your feasibility should be able to tell you, as if you really did your feasibility right. You will get from your feasibility the number of customers that are willing. Okay, now there is also what we call indices. Indices. You can generate hypotheses and try to verify the hypothesis, and with the verification of the hypothesis, you can then have an indice. Let's assume you're running feasibility on the sales of imported shoes in Nigeria, and then you developed a hypothesis that if out of 500 interviews, 10 of them said yes, they will buy at your price if you import. You already have a market that is interested with capacity, right? And then you have a market inside the same 500, maybe you have 150 that says, I would really love to buy you. It's just that the money involved now, I'm not sure I have it. You also have an indice, right? Then you have those that say, no, we already have where we are buying from. Maybe 200 of them already say we have where we are buying from. Now, if you have a hypothesis, you can do comparative analysis to find the indices of 10. So for every 500, you know that about 10 people can buy from you, right? So if you now schedule yourself and say, in a month, your target is to reach out to 500 people with the prospect of getting 10 people, you already have an indices. Remember, in that indices also, you have about 150 people that says, we would like to buy, just that the money might be too away from us. You can always revisit those people with reworked business products that can satisfy their needs at their own capacity. And then those people that say we already have people distributing to us or supplying to us, you can also reach to them and say, okay, now I have another product too, and all of that, just to get them to buy it. So if you want to find out the various levels of demand, your feasibility can help. Your consistent market survey with your customers will also help. Consistent survey, consistent survey, it will also help. Okay, so if you do your feasibility, conduct your survey, and like I said yesterday, you can do your survey online or offline, or you could do the both and then have an average. Okay, so I trust that helps. Why? The next question said, what will you do to bring in the interested but no capacity to be your customers? Okay, it's the same thing I've been talking over and over again. You need to rework your strategy. So I will give you an example with Peak. Remember Peak Milk? Remember those days that Peak was only in big containers. There were no sachets of Peak. All right. So Peak had a market that had those who were interested in drinking milk, but didn't have the capacity to buy milk. So what did Peak do? Peak introduced what we call sachet milk. And that made more market for Peak than even the big volume milk. Virtually everyone in Nigeria, including Buhari, drinks sachet Peak milk. Because when you go for conferences, when you go for workshops, they don't give you the big container milk. They give you sachet milk, right? So sachetization helped in turning those that had interest but no adequate capacity. It had to help them to become customers. Mary, did that help? So it's all about reworking your strategy. Okay, reworking your strategy to meet up with your customer needs. Okay, reworking your strategy to meet up with your customer needs. Any other question for me? Mary, did that help? Okay, if there's any other question, please feel free. If you unmute, I will answer you. If you unmute, I will answer you. Any other question, or I should just proceed? Sorry. Okay, so if there is no question more, I will proceed. All right. So let's continue with the class. Let me go back to my slide. So we've dealt with market analysis. The next one I would like to talk about is product analysis, product and services you are bringing in. Basically, when talking about product and services, what you want to deal with is talk about the uniqueness of your product and service. Okay, talk about the uniqueness of your product and service. What makes it different from the ones already existing in the market? What will be the point of attraction? What will be the point of attention for your product or service you are introducing to the market? Okay, that's what you deal with under your product and your services. All right. Now, sales and marketing. Now that you have products and services, right? Sales, you need to forecast. Just the way you have forecasted your market, you also need to forecast your sales. So you have sales forecast maybe for the year, for the next 2 years, for the next 3 years. So what principally I do when I'm doing sales forecast is, since I have my market target broken down from January to December, so I assume the number of people in each of the months to be my sales target, number of people I want to sell to per month. So my sales target will be the number of clients I'm expecting per month, multiplying by the unit price I am willing to sell a product or service to them. I'll repeat this again. My sales target will be the
the number of people I want to sell to in a month, that's my market share in a month, multiplying by the unit price I want to sell that product or service. By the time I multiply it, I will have my sales target per month. However, before I start giving my sales projections and sales forecast, I must also have my sales strategy. How do I want to make sales? Okay, how do I want to make sales? How do I want to make sales? How do I want to engage in marketing? What are the strategies? In this present day, whenever we talk about sales and marketing, you always see things like online ads, okay, online ads, referral marketing, commission-based marketing, one face-to-face marketing, door-to-door marketing, whether face-to-face or door-to-door. Then some will put newspapers or print media. Some will talk about paid media, talking of radio, television, jingles, and all of that. So what are your sales and marketing strategies? You put them under the sales and marketing. Then the competitive analysis. That question that was asked, how do you know the percentage of shop share, something like that, the percentage that you're to own in regard to your competitors? This is what you simply do. Take at least 5 of your prominent competitors. Please, I would like to state this. Competitors, in most cases, when we say competitors, it simply means those who were dragging the market with, right? But in talking about competitive analysis, you have direct competitors and you have indirect competitors. Direct competitors are those who are within the same industry with you, finding the same, sharing the same product and the same customer with you. Indirect competitors are those who are sharing the same customers with you, but on a different product. And most often, indirect competitors get to win the market more than the direct competitors. And I will give you an example. Every industry that exists, there is what we call industry competition. Industry competition. So when you're dealing with your competitive analysis, also consider the effect of other industries on your business. For instance, you have 200 naira, for instance, you are thirsty. Okay, let's say you have 100 naira. You are thirsty, you want to drink water. And at the same time, you need that 100 naira to buy a recharge card to make call, an important call. The question is, who will you give the 100 naira to? Is it to the water or is it to the recharge card? You find out that at the end of the day, it's the customer that decides, right? It's the customer that decides. But before the customer decides, what the customer is now deciding is on the value attributable to each of those products. They are in different industries, but yet they have level of value proportionate to his need or to her need. So before we start talking about competitive analysis, I want us to understand that in competitive analysis, you have internal and external, or you have direct and indirect competitors. Coming back to competitive analysis, pick at least 3 to 5 direct competitors, and then pick at least 2 to 3 indirect competitors. Now, for your direct competitors, more of what you want to do is create uniqueness in value. So if you pick company A that is in the same industry with you and have the same kind of customers with you, first, why do customers buy this product? What are special about this product? Is there anything I can improve on this product to make customers' attention draw to me? Can I improve on my marketing strategy to draw more customers to myself? What do I need to do about customer relations to make it better? So you are reworking the business model to bring customers to your site. That's what you're doing. Now, in the indirect market or indirect competition, what you are now looking out for is who can you collaborate with? In the indirect market, you are looking for collaboration. In the direct market, you're looking for innovation, adding more value to get ahead of the competition. Did you get what I just said now? In direct market, you are looking at how do you modify the product? How do you modify your marketing strategies? How do you get better at this and better at that and all of that? In the indirect market, what you are looking at for is who has the capacity to move my business forward? Collaboration, that's what you're looking out for. Collaboration. Collaboration. For instance, if you are a startup training and development organization, and then you look at your product and services, is a little different from what IPM does. IPM has almost 30,000 online subscribers on our email. And then you come to us and say, okay, oh, sorry, I don't really have all this volume of money to start doing email marketing and all of that. Can we collaborate? Share my training program with your audience. Since we have the same market, sorry. Since we have the same market, share my share my product with your market, and then you will take so percentage for your effort. Then I will take so percentage as my effort. That is called co-opetition, not competition. It's called co-opetition. Let me get my screen. Let me get my screen and type it. So let's go to the screen. Let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so back to my screen. So I talked about competitive analysis. So you have one, the direct competitors. Direct competitors and indirect competitors. Indirect competitors. Competitors. For the direct competitors, for one, what you're looking out for is to create unique products, services, and strategies. That's what you want to do for direct competitors. That's how you're going to win. For number two, indirect competitors, what you are looking out for is collaboration. Who can help me drive my business? And we call it, instead of competition, we call it co-opetition. Okay, co-opetition. Co-opetition. So these are the two basic approaches you can use in driving unique competitive analysis, unique competitive analysis. So while you are talking about those who are your competitors, what is unique about their product, what is unique about their company, if you look at their structure, you look at their human capital, you look at their marketing strategies and all of that, you're analyzing virtually everything and you are improving on what you are finding out, that is direct. Then another thing also is look at possible collaborators that can help advance your cause. Look at them on the basis of what influence do they have in the market, what number of customer base do they have, what kind of strategy do they use, what kind of framework and structure do they have, do they allow for collaboration and all of that. There was a time in Nigeria that we had Pepsi and Airtel collaborating. So if you buy Airtel, or sorry, if you buy Pepsi and open the cap, and you remove the rubber seal at the top of the cap, at the hollow cap, you'll find some digits, some Airtel recharge digits. That when you enter it, maybe you get 15 seconds airtime, 60 seconds airtime, it was just varying. That is a good example of collaboration. Any question for me? Any question for me on computer analysis? Any question for me Okay, so if I should proceed, please kindly type 88 in the chat room. If I should proceed, please kindly type 88 in the chat room. If I should proceed, please kindly type 88 in the chat room. If you have a question, please let me know. We are gradually rounding up. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's quickly look at management team. Your management team talks about the capacity of your team members. So you need to have a well-selected team. So what are their roles? Remember, you have operations. So the management team is who will be taking care of all of those your operations, right? So you have your management team in form of you have your management team in form of the office. So you have role and responsibilities. Role first, you have role, have responsibilities. Role and responsibilities. And then you have the qualifications needed for that role. The qualifications, the skills needed. Okay, maybe the experience also needed. And then the possible impact of this role to the organization. So let's assume role is the managing director. Okay, managing director. And then the responsibilities, the activities the person will be doing. You have the 1, 2, 3, and all of that. Then the qualifications for the role, the impact, the qualifications, skills, experiences needed for the role, and then the impact. What will be the impact of this office to this organization? Maybe the impact will be provide direction, drive sustainability and continuity. Okay, these are some of the things you may have. Sustainability and continuity. So these are some of the things you may want to bring out in your management team. However, when you are drafting management team for funding basis, some funders may say, we want to know who these people are. So you may have to fix their name, their CVs. So instead of just writing it down, writing the literal things out, you now have to write the names of these people, the roles they are playing, their own specific experiences, and then the impact they are bringing to the organization. That's if the business plan will require that you put the names of the people. If it is a startup business plan, you might not need to put the names of the people because you don't even know who the people are. You only know the office, you only know the role that can deliver certain things, but not the person because the position has not been filled. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? And please note, your management team does not equate to your business structure. Your management team does not equate to your business structure. So you may also, apart from having your management team, you may also have to have your business structure, okay? Your organizational structure, of which the management team will be inside the organizational structure. Okay, so your organizational structure will cover from board to management team to operational staff and to every other person, and how the reporting line will also flow. All right. Then you have your financial plan. Financial plan is a simple thing also. Financial plan is how much money do we need and how much money are we spending? How much money are we expecting to have? So you talk about what we call cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. So income expenditure, proposed income, proposed expenditure. So these are the things you want to have in your financial plan. Okay, that's what you want to have in your financial plan. How do you finance the business? You also get that. So apart from stating how much you need and the breakdown of how much you need and all of that, you also need to state how you're going to generate that money, how you're going to finance the plan. So apart from your cash flow, money coming in, money going out, you also need to have financing options, how the money will be financed, how the business will be financed. So are you going to be financing from personal savings? Are you going to be financing from loans? Are you going to be financing from grants? You will write all of them down. But more to it also is that you make a forecast. Just the way you have your marketing forecast, have your sales forecast, you also have what we call the finance or financial forecast. Your financial forecast will be a comprehensive detail of money coming in and money going out. Okay, money coming in and money going out. Then you have your financial projections also. Your projections now talks of how much revenue are you going to be making. So to save time, you can have your financial projections inside your financial plan. So your plan, in the cash flow, you have what is coming in, what is going out. And of course, from your sales projection, from your sales forecast, you already have your financial projections. Remember, your sales forecast is going to be a function of how many people are buying, multiply it by the unit price you're selling those products. So that gives you some level of projections. Now, that could be sales projection. If there are other finances coming in, maybe from grants, from donors, from sponsorship and all of that, you can also state that in your projections. When we get to level 2, we'll be doing all of this practically, and we'll be looking at it one after the other, how they all interplay, and we'll be using templates to do this. So now there are some other things that we did not give heading here, but they are covered. For instance, your organizational structure. Like I said, while developing your management team, you could first of all draw your organizational structure and then state where the management team falls into. So the management team could be the directors, the management executives, heads of units and all of that. That will be your management team. Your management team is not the same as your operations team. All right. Okay. Any question for me? We are gradually rounding up. Any question for me? Question. If you have a question, you can ask. Now, before we take a question, please, can we take a 1-minute break? And when we return, let's take a 2-minute break. When we return, we'll be rounding up. Now, as we go for the break, please, if you're joining us for the first time, please go and give us a 5-star review on Google, 5-star review and rating on Google. So I'm going to post the link. Kindly go to Google and give us a 5-star rating and then give us a review. If you are enjoying the class, just say something about the class. Say something about IPM. If it is a place you want people to join you, please feel free to tell them. IPM is a good place. It's an excellent place to learn professionally, and you will want them to join you. If you want to recommend to people, feel free to tell them you will recommend IPM, anyone. So in the next 2 minutes, as you're taking that, please also feel free to take a sip of water if you've not. And we'll be back in just 2 minutes. I'll be handing over to the course coordinator or program coordinator, Mr. Austin, while I take a 2-minute break. Thank you. All right, well, welcome back. I trust we enjoyed the break. And I trust you've also given us your 5-star rating and 5-star review on Google. So let's begin to round up. Let's begin to round up. Do I have any question? I love this question. So question from Mr. Maxwell. He said, if you're doing forecast for maybe 5 years ahead, what percentage markup should one use from 1 year to another? Okay, this is a very good question. Before you start doing markup on business plan, you need to find out the major drivers of the economy. Okay. For any time you want to talk about markup, first of all, look at what is the inflation rate. So you could use trends to now talk about markup. For instance, 2020 to 2021, what was the inflation, the differential in inflation rate? So let's assume 2020 was 15%, and 2021 is 22%. So we have differential of 2%, right? Then you have, let's say 2020 or 2021 to 2022. So we are still in 2022, we cannot really say. So let's go to 2018. So you have 2018 to 2019. So you have, let's assume you have 15%, and then from 15%, it moved to 17%. So you have 2% differential. From 2019 to 2020, it became 21%. So you have 17 to 21, or let's say 17 to 19, assumedly anyway. So let's say it's another 2% differential, right? Then you have 2021 to 2022, which is not complete yet. So from the trend, you have an indices you can use for markup. Okay, so you can use inflation differential to find out the best ratio you can use to do your markup. Okay, so inflation could be a good indicator to do that. Then another way to consider markup is look at your investment ratio. Look at the investment ratio. The investment ratio over a period, the differential investment that will give your investment ratio can also help you to do a markup. But it is better you use universal standards like the inflation index to do your markup, because if you're using investment ratio, you're just trying to share the risk with your clients who are not part of your investment anyway. They are just there to buy your product. So better still, we use standard economic indices to drive markup. And so the best one I will recommend, look at trend analysis, look at inflation index, and then with some of them you can come up with something really, really beneficial to everyone. Sometimes when you go to some supermarkets, you will see them write some things on their table. Based on the high increase in inflation rate, we have decided to increase our product by 2% amount and all of that. That's to tell you they have an index they are using, right? Some also, if they have added features, okay, if there are added features like investment cost towards added features, they will also tell you due to this or that feature, we are increasing our price to so amount. So you could have the inflation, economic variables that will determine, or investment ratio towards value added. Okay, so it will help. Okay, any other question? Mr. Maxwell, the two indices, I trust it can help. And I trust you understand them. If you don't, please, you can still ask me. Any other questions so far? Okay, so well understood. Today is like people prefer to be chatting instead of asking questions. Are we all in weddings and birthdays? Okay, even me, I want to go and rest. Okay. So let's round up with some other things. Types of business plan. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In some other contexts, some will tell you they have 7, some will tell you they have 2, some will tell you they have 9, some will tell you they have 12. Whichever one they have is okay, provided they explain what it means. Now, according to US Small Business Administration, they tell you that they have 2 types of business plans. That's if it's strictly for funding purposes. So they have the traditional business plan and they have the lean business plan. Traditional and lean. Let me write it on my whiteboard. According to US Small Business Administration, they have 2 types of business plans, 2 types. According to SBA, they have 2 types of business plan. So they have the traditional, or what they call the detailed business plan, and then they have the lean. So the traditional or the detailed is a full-blown business plan. The lean business plan is a very brief and short business plan, just like an executive summary. So anybody that is sending in a lean business plan should be ready to provide more details when requested. Okay, so that's according to SBA. Then you have other school of thoughts that will also tell you that they have ongoing business plans, and then they have mini business plan. So we tell you they have which one would be there? What if business plan? What if business plan or scenario business plan? So whichever one they call it, just understand what they are trying to say. Ongoing business plan is the one that is currently being executed. A mini business plan can be seen as the lean business plan. It's not well detailed. What if business plan is a business plan of what if the business does not work? What is your exit strategy? So whenever we start talking about exit strategies in business plan, we are talking about what if kind of business. What if it does not work the way we planned it? What will be our exit plan? Okay, what will be our exit plan? So, however, when we learn these things in school, we bring all of them together that sometimes the understanding becomes a little difficult. Okay, but you can decide to write business plans according to the need you have per time. Okay, according to the need your business has per time. Okay, so that is just that. So let's look at the one we have, and then look at the contents that accompany them, so that when we are developing them, we don't go breaking our head trying to find the whole component along them. So we have the startup business plans, essentially for startup. You have not started it, you just want to start. So for new business. They have internal business plans. Internal business plans are generated within the organization. So maybe if you have new products you want to launch, new units you want to launch, new market you want to step into, you need internal business plans to launch them, right? Then you have your strategic business plan. Your strategic business plan talks of your high-level business objectives, your high-level business goals, If you now want to talk about business diversification, you deal with that on strategic business plans. So let's assume you want to map out your business in the next 50 years. That is no longer a startup business plan. That becomes a strategic business plan. Okay, so you started with transport. In the next 5 years, you want to go into hospitality. In the next 10 years, you want to go into education. In the next 30 years, you want to go into aviation. In the next 40 years, you want to go into oil and gas and agriculture. That becomes strategic business plan. That means you are already seeing the portfolio that your business is made of from the onset. Okay, then you have the feasibility business plan, just as the name is feasibility. Feasibility answers two questions. Do we have a market, and will the business make profit? That's just the two answers. So it helps you to find out if your business has a market that it can serve, and then whether there will be profit by serving the market. That's all. Then you have the operations business plan. Like I said, every business has operations. The operational business plan is to give full detail of how your operations should go. So your operations most often comes with targets, and therefore operational plans need to be reviewed so frequently, either quarterly, annually, either monthly, quarterly, but more importantly, if you don't meet up monthly, if you don't meet up quarterly, please, annually, it must be reviewed so as to set new targets for the business. Then you have the growth or the expansion business plans, okay, alliance business plans. You will discover that the content of startup business plans will not be the same as that of internal business plans. The way, the tone and write-up for the startup is not the same with the internal business plans. And it's not going to be the same with the strategic business plans. Okay, neither will it be the same with the other. So every need you have at any point of business, there is a particular business plan structured for it. So let's look at each of them and see what they are made of. So you have the startup business plan. The startup business plan, like I said, is for the when you're starting. So you have executive summary, business overview, management background, your product, your services, your product and services, your value proposition, your marketing plan, market analysis or market evaluations, projected startup costs, cash flow projections, and income and profit projections. So these are possible things you see in the startup business plan. So if you want to have a complete startup business plan, this will suffice. This will suffice. Now, if you want to now deal with strategic business plans, like I said, is the high level business plan. It's a detailed strategy, something we use to achieve these overall goals. Strategic business plans are usually for internal purposes, only as a foundational plan for an entire organization. When creating this type of plan, management needs to assess the strengths of the organization and indicate areas that can improve by using SWOT analysis. Most strategic plans include 5 main components, which are company vision statement, company mission, key factors for company success, strategies to meet goals, and then implementation deadline for the goals. Like I said, you could have started with shoemaking this year. In the next 5 years, you want to go into shoe importation. So you have deadlines in each of the goals, the broad goals anyway. You have deadlines, you have strategic lines, timelines you're using towards them. Then you have the feasibility. Basically, is there market? Is there profit? That's what we want to find out. So you may need to do market analysis, customer survey, and then sales, projected sales, and projected income. Okay, that's what you want to find out. Then you have operations. What are we doing? So it covers things like your organization objectives, activities required to complete objectives, resources needed for the activities, staff requirement, implementation deadline, progress tracking processes. So these are some of the things you want to have in your operations plan. Essentially, what are the activities and what do we need to do the activities, which will comprise of resources, humans, and other things, strategies that will also come in, the methodologies. They have the growth and expansion plan, which is used when the company wants to grow or they want to expand. Okay, so when they need larger investments or looking for larger investors, then they now talk about investment plans. Now, part of the things we want to look at in investment plans is structuring. How is your organizational structure? Legal structure, is it a public limited liability company? Is it a private limited liability company? Then you now want to talk about the governance of the organization. Okay, what is the role of government in the company? Okay, is the company a compliant company? Okay, so these are some of the things you now look at. How many dependent directors do they have? How many executive directors do they have? How many independent directors do they have? Executive, non-executive? Okay, these are some of the things you want to check out. What's their liabilities like? You want to find out the depth of their liability so that you can be sure if they are really secured or not. As you're looking out for their liabilities, you're also looking out for their assets. And please, when you're looking out for assets, it's not just liquid assets. You're looking also for solid assets, solid assets. So these are some of the things you want to look at when developing growth plan. You look at the management board, the corporate board, corporate governance, asset base, asset and liability base, then look at the future projections as regards to which area will your company be going into. Investors want to be sure that they have a future with your company, all right? So some of the details here will involve full company description, thorough details about service or product, background on the management team, detailed financial projections, data and full analysis of market research, funding requirements, then notable company achievements, which in this case, we have to deal with what's your board of directors like, what's your asset base and liabilities base like, equities, other investment that your company has, what is it all about? You need to let them know, okay, because that will form the basis for decision whether investors want to put in resources or not. Now, in summary, a business plan is a document describing a company's core business activities and how it plans to achieve its goals. Startup companies use business plans to get off the ground and attract outside investors. A business plan can also be used as an internal guide to keep an executive team focused on and working towards short and long-term objectives. Businesses may create a lengthier traditional business plan or a shorter lean startup business plan. Good business plans should include an executive summary and sections on products and services, marketing strategy and analysis, financial planning, and a budget. So this is the summary of our learning for today. Any question for me? Questions, comments, contributions? I will take them now and then before we go take a break. Questions, comments, contributions? Okay, so I'm seeing, well done, sir. Thank you, Mr. Agilani. And thank you, Mr. Maxwell. Okay, let's know if there is any question. All right, Mr. Michael Balogun, please kindly unmute and let's hear from you. Mr. Michael, you can unmute, let's hear from you. Okay, Mr. Michael, your hand is up. So you are permitted to unmute if you have a question, but if you have a challenge or meeting, please, you can use the chat room. Okay, I've asked you to unmute, so you can unmute. You will see the request on your screen to unmute, so you can unmute. Okay, so while we wait for Mr. Michael to unmute or send his question in the chat room, someone sent in a private chat. He said, Business plan versus strategic plan, any difference? Yeah, there is a difference between business plans and strategic plans. Strategic plans essentially details how your organization want to achieve its goals over specified periods at specified time and resources. Most often, strategic plans are project-driven. They don't talk about return on investment. They just talk about what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how it needs to be done, and what resources it needs, what resources are needed to do it. It doesn't talk about the market, as it were. It doesn't talk about the customers. It doesn't talk about the general market. It just focuses more on the business, advancing the business. That's what strategic plans majorly focus on. Okay. Okay, Mr. Michael, while we are still waiting for you to unmute, please, any other person that has a question, please, you can unmute and let's hear from you your question, and let's share thoughts, and then we'll be calling it a day. Okay, I'm seeing another question. Can an NGO have a business plan? The answer is yes. Can an NGO have a business plan? The answer is yes. You know, when we say NGOs, the view is always that NGOs don't make money. They don't have products or they don't have services. But that's an irony. One of the sustainability patterns for NGOs to thrive is to have sellable products and sellable services, though they are not selling it for the purpose of making profit. They are selling it for the purpose of raising money to put in their charity services. So they need a business plan on how to develop the product first, how to sell the product, how to market the product, how to raise money for the product, and all of that. So they need business plans. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Balogun say, I work with a motorsport promoting organization in Nigeria. Would sending out a startup business plan help such organization? Can NGOs fund private organizations? Okay, for NGOs to fund private organizations, that means private organizations must have charitable causes they are following in line with the NGO's objective. However, there are NGOs that provide funds exclusively for startup organizations. Okay, there are NGOs that are exclusively dedicated to entrepreneurship and startup firms. So, for instance, you have Tony Elumelu Foundation. Is an NGO, but dedicated to startups. Okay, so we have NGOs who can fund private organizations, provided the organization is in line with their own initiatives. Okay. Then that other question of, is I work with a motorsport promoting organization in Nigeria. Okay. Maybe I don't really understand motorsport promoting organization. Is it that you people promote sales of motor in Nigeria or something? You say, would sending out a startup plan help such organization? Well, if you have, the first thing is, do you have an idea? Is the idea feasible? Is the idea sellable? When sending out such plans, more of what you want to do is find out investment or investors. And most of the times, what you're looking for is angel investors or equity investors. And their investment is based on the kind of business you're doing. Okay, not a business of high volatility ratio, but a business with low volatility, so they can easily pull out their resources when anything happens. So if you have such a business and you think you are looking for investor, why not? You can develop a business plan and send out to them. However, my recommendation is why we've learned this, let's all return for level 2 so that we can practically look at all of these together. Because in level 2, while we are going to take time to study many other things, more of our attention will be on business planning. So we look at how to design the different types of business plans, and then you can know which one to use per time. Okay. All right. Any other question for me? Any other question for me? Okay, so from Sunday, I will say I'm into supply items to restaurants. I'm having challenge of getting more contracts for supply. After several proposals and price lists to these companies, what is the next strategy, sir? So you deal with supply, and obviously what you're supplying, you're possibly not the one producing it. So I'm going to give you just one or two insights. First, try to have a sit-out meeting with some of these managers that you're sending proposals to. Find out from them, why is it that they are not patronizing you? You can request for a visit. You can request for to buy them lunch, have a lunch meeting with them, and then find out, sir, what is really happening? Is it that you people don't like my product, or there are some things you want us to do? Please note, as a supplier, you're already a contractor. And as a contractor, you're not the only one involved. Contract is a game of several interests. And if all your contract dates and all your contract papers is all about what you can supply and how you can supply it, you're possibly not going to get it. In contract, the game is a game of interest. I'll repeat that again. Contract is a game of interest. You must find all the stakeholders in that supply chain and make sure that their interests are well taken care of for you to have your own interest taken care of. I spoke about the role of business developer in negotiation, networking, contracts, lobbying. And I said in some countries, when you say lobbying, it sounds illegal. So they call it facilitation. Okay, some call it consultancy. Whichever one they call it, it's still the same thing. So you may need to have some hangout. If it is difficult to get a hangout meeting with the managers or the directors of those companies, then request for an in-house visit and find out. But most often they are going to be much more open to you when they are outside of the organization than when they are talking from their office. Another one is, if you can't find the MDs or the managers to talk to you, then find an in-house person. My people would say it is the rat inside that told the rat outside that there is fish in the house. So find the rats inside so that the rat can tell you the kind of fish they have inside and how you can come and take the fish. And that will become part of the stakeholders whose interest also will be managed. Okay. And then you may also need to rework your strategy. Talk to your suppliers, the people that supply to you. Talk to them and see how you can rework the strategy to get more clients. Now, one thing you may need to get is, if the product you're supplying to them can be supplied by any other person, then that market would be a very competitive market. It's just how their interest will be managed. So you may need to now talk to your supply, the people supplying to you, discuss with them on approaches you think would be the best to market their products better. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunday. Any other question for me? Any other question? Okay, so to assess level 2 class is 10,000 Naira. And the course fee, total course fee, I think the course coordinator will share that very shortly. But please note, the 10,000 Naira is still inclusive in your total certificate fee. So if the certificate fee is 75,000, assumedly, then if you're paying 10,000, that means you have 65,000 to balance. That's what it means. Remember, this course is in 2 levels. So we are allowing you to take level 1 for free. And then to access level 2, you need to make some commitments. Let's also see how serious you are with your own personal development. All right. Another thing I will also say is, if you want to be chartered as a business developer, a business development consultant, if you want to be chartered, then you need to complete your level 1 and level 2. By being chartered, it mustn't be this year. You can take that up on another time, but you must have completed the 2 levels, okay? And your charter is issued by the Chartered Digital Management Consultant USA. So whenever you're ready for that, you can let us know. And like I also said, if you're interested in MBA, by November, December, January, we would have, although we have other projects that are occupying our time that we want to conclude before launching the MBA, so that we'll not be too stressed. We're already signing an MOU with University of Abuja for issuance of MBA, or for dual coordination or dual execution of MBA projects. So if you're in Abuja, you're welcome to join us in class. If you are outside of Abuja, you're welcome to join us online. Or if you're in Nigeria, at least you will visit the Abuja campus 3 times in a year, or 3 times before your project will be over. As if you're within Nigeria. And if you're outside Nigeria, you'll be requested to visit Nigeria at least once. That's during your graduation and induction program. Okay, so all of the details will be shared. And like I said, if you are going for this course in full certification, you would have earned some points, some credits that will be used in the master's program. And also you would have saved yourself some cost. Okay. All right. Any question, any concern, any contribution before I go? If you've not given us a 5-star rating on Google, please do that right away. Take 2 minutes, give us a good rating. 5-star, don't give us 2-star, okay? Because one day somebody gave us 1-star rating, and she now went and wrote, IPM is the best place to take your professional training. I will recommend this organization to all people who are interested in professional development. So when we tried to inquire why she now gave us 1-star, she said, we are the #1 now, so that's why she gave us 1. Okay, so it doesn't work that way on Google rating. The highest, if you think we are #1, then you have to click 5. You have to stick 5, not 1. Okay, so 1 in this case does not mean #1. It simply means poor. So if you think we are doing something nice, please give us 5-star rating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You click on the 5th one, 5-star rating, and then you say something nice about us. All right. Corporate governance class for those of us corporate governance, starting by 2 o'clock. And I know that the facilitator for the day will be just by the corner way. Okay. So if there are no questions, I'll be passing you over to the program coordinator. And thank you for your time. You have a wonderful weekend. I'm sorry, before I go, we still have a whole lot to cover. I think I still have business development strategies, which we've not touched. We still have, important things to deal with. Business modeling, we need to deal with all of these. Then talking about all those marketing, customer prospect, and all of that. Okay. So we still have a whole lot to do. So my encouragement is join us in level, and all you need is a 10,000 Naira commitment. And then we'll do all this together. So we still have a whole lot to do. Okay, we still have a whole lot to do. So next week, we continue from where we stop. Thank you and see you then. Mr. Augustine, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Banito.
Thank you so much. Before I go to the announcement, I want to confirm, Dr. Banito, this is business development class. The access fee for next week, I don't know, we made it 20,000 naira. I don't know if you are leaving it at 10. I just want to be sure. For those who want to proceed to the next level. Hello, Dr. Banito.
Okay, we'll leave it at 10 for now. Just
Okay.
to get anybody who wants to at least learn, let him join us there.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I have been sitting down here, even though network wanted to play with me. It's so unfortunate that some part of the class I missed it out. So thank you. I have really built my capacity up to this level. And our questions, for those who were asking questions, our questions also helped. Because sometimes when I'm thrown out, when I'm confused, the questions we ask will bring me back. Thank you very much for that. And I don't know if at this point, hello, Mr. Michael Balogun. Okay, so thank you very much. It's just on that note that we want to advise, please and please,